Jean Messiha, thanks for joining me on UpFront. Do you understand why so many French people, especially from minority communities, are worried by the prospect of a Marine Le Pen presidency, by the prospect of having a French head of state from your party, the Front National, with its long history of promoting extremism, racism and division?
Well, I don't agree that minorities are particularly scared about this issue. You know, I travel in France a lot since many months now. I'm doing public meetings, I'm meeting a lot of people, including minorities, and I don't see that there is a particularly scared people about this issue. On the contrary, I'm seeing now more and more people asking about our project, about our program, getting interested in what we are proposing to the French people. And this is very encouraging because our project is englobing, it's inclusive, not exclusive.
Although historically, minorities haven't really voted for the Front National for obvious reasons. There are around 5 million Muslims living in France today. Does the Front National, do you consider them to be French or foreign?
All persons that are carrying the French citizenship are French citizens. There is no ambiguity about that. You are talking about history. Don't take the Front National of the 70s as a reference.
How about the Front National of 2010? Marine Le Pen, your party leader and presidential candidate, said at the time about French Muslims praying in the street. She compared it to the Nazi occupation of France. Last time I checked, the Nazis were foreign invaders of France, illegal occupiers. Isn't that offensive and an absurd comparison to make between French Muslims and German Nazi invaders?
She did not talk about Nazi, she talked about occupation, and this is exactly the case. I mean, in France, we have rules, we have laws. It was not because they are Muslims. Any other people who are occupying illegally the public space would have been out of law. So we have rules, we are a state of law
She was explicitly referring to World War II. She said, for those of you who want to talk a lot about World War II, we could talk about occupation of territory by Muslims praying.
There was a legal action against this of some minorities association who sue Marine Le Pen for those declarations, and the Justice of France, the French court, decided that there was nothing illegal in what she said.
Okay, you say that this is history. Marine Le Pen has cleaned up your party, got rid of the anti-Semitism of the past, got rid of what you even called, I believe, the fascistic stench in the party under its previous leader, its founder, her father, Jean-Marie Le Pen. But Marine Le Pen joined the party when her father was leader. She campaigned for her father when he was saying the gas chambers are a detail of history.
I don't think so. She was 22 or 23 years old when this happened, and at that time she was student, and after that she became lawyer. Actually, she joined the political action in the middle of the 2000s.
No, she joined the party before her father made those comments. And as you know, he made those comments repeatedly in the 80s and 90s, right up until recently. Can you tell our viewers, who is the honourary president of your party today? It's a very simple question. Who is the honourary president of your party today? What is his name?
Okay, listen, mister, I came here to try to explain a position. I'm not coming here to get whacked, okay? So if you want to listen to my answers,
I am. Who is the leader of your party?
And I try to explain what is our...
Who is the honorary president of your party today? What is his name? Can you tell our global audience who is the honorary president of the National Front, of the Front National?
We do not have any honorary president. Jean-Marie Le Pen has been expelled from the party.
But he is still technically the honorary president. I believe he won a court case to keep himself as honorary president. And didn't you also take 6 million euros?
No, he was expelled, and the justice, the French court, obliged us to take him back again, and we said no, and there is a legal action against this for now.
So why did your party take 6 million euros in a loan from Jean-Marie Le Pen's company? If you're distancing yourself from the racist anti-Semitic founder, why did you take 6 million euros?
This is an incorrect information. We did not take 6 million euros from Jean-Marie Le Pen. We took 6 million euros from a small organism called Cotelec, which is social reason is to lend to Front National. So this is not the money of Jean-Marie Le Pen, it is the money of Cotelec.
But it's controlled by Jean-Marie Le Pen, it's his company.
Which is controlled, it's controlled by many people, including Jean-Marie Le Pen, but its social reason is to lend to Front National, so we are in perfect legality.
And what about Frederic Chatillon, who's been in the news recently in France, a close friend of Marine Le Pen? He's on the payroll of your presidential campaign, and he organizes apparently celebrations of Hitler's birthday and runs a bookshop that trades Holocaust denial literature.
No, this is total lies. This is propaganda from the French media who do not want to listen to us on our project, on our economic project, political project, social project.
So he has not ever organized a party celebrating Hitler's birthday.
Ruling system.
He's never organized a celebration of Hitler's birthday.
Not.
And he's never run a bookshop selling Holocaust denial.
No, absolutely not. The Front National of 2017 and Marine Le Pen at his head has nothing to do with historical rules. 80% of our members and militants have less than 4 years in our party. Today, the Front National is a structure that gathered 30% almost of the vote. You cannot accuse 30% of the French people to be Nazi or fascist. This is a big insult to the 30% of French voters to us.
Well, let's talk about your policies rather than go on public opinion. Let's go on what actually defines your party. One of your signature policies is banning the headscarf, the hijab, in public places. It's already banned in schools. In France, you want to ban it in public too, which as far as I'm aware, no country on earth has ever done. That's how extreme your party is. It's willing to violate human rights, civil liberties, religious freedom, and go after Muslim women in public, which no country in the world has ever done.
No. If you want to keep civil peace in France, we have tradition, we have the laicity, we are not Anglo-Saxon model. We have a separation between what belongs to religious and what belongs to state. It was applied into schools, and we ought to apply it on the public space in order to keep civil peace.
But it's not about civil peace, though, is it? Because Marine Le Pen herself says, because she said to the Jewish people who have to give up their skull caps, I believe, she said, I hope they can understand. We asked them to make this sacrifice.
So it is not.
Well, no, hold on. Let me read the quote of your leader. She said, we asked them to make this sacrifice
to
fight against the advance of political Islam. So it's not about secularism and laicity. It's about going after Islam.
Yeah, because in fact we cannot deny the reality.
What is
Today
the reality?
You have a political Islam. My God,
but women who wear headscarves are not all Islamists.
Didn't you see that the political Islam?
But women who wear headscarves are not all Islamists, as you well know.
France was attacked severely by Islamist group.
By women in headscarves?
We have hundreds of dead people and blood in our streets, and I think that the French people in its totality reacted in a very dignity way.
We all agree that France has suffered huge tragedies, but why are you blaming French citizens? You said yourself, French citizens, Muslim women who are citizens of France, who want to wear a headscarf. What's that got to do with terrorist attacks?
Because the liberty of some people must stop when the liberty of others begins. There is a big difference between Islamism and Islam.
Agreed.
If you
and
do not
hijab is part
understand
of
this
Islam,
difference,
is it not?
then you cannot understand
anything.
anything.
And the hijab is part of Islam, not Islamism.
Yes, exactly. Because if you in some vicinities in France, women are forced to put the veil, because if she do not put the veil, when she goes out on the street, she gets insulted and she gets sometimes beaten.
And now you're
this is a
forcing
reality
women
in
to
some
take off the hijab.
French neighborhoods.
So you're just as bad as the people who forced them to wear it. There's no difference between it. You're forcing them to take it off.
No,
we saw French police forcing a woman to strip on a beach last summer. That's liberty.
As we force them also to respect, we force people to respect the neutrality of the public space.
You say the Catholic community is, quote, the national community of France. Your MP, Marion Maréchal Le Pen, says France is a Christian country with a Christian culture. You don't sound very secular. You sound very Christian to me, but you pretend that you're treating all religions equally.
No, exactly, because this is a history reality.
I thought you were a secular country.
Yeah, but we have traditions. I mean, secular country does not mean that we cancel our history. So what do you mean? You mean we're going to destroy the churches and destroy the crosses in the street that were legated by the centuries of Christian history? What is this view? I don't understand.
Well, you say you're secular, laïcité, and yet you yourself have said, quote, a surge of several million Christians.
You want us to destroy Notre Dame? You want us to destroy Sacré-Cœur?
You yourself said a surge of several million Christians from the Middle East to France would shoot down the Islamism of our neighborhoods. If you're truly a secular politician, why do you care what religion an immigrant is or a French citizen is? You shouldn't care. They should just be French citizens. Why do you care how many Christians or Muslims there are?
We are not taking care about religion. We are taking care about the political aspect.
Why did you say we should have a surge of several million Christians from the Middle East? Why did you say that? Why did you say we have? You said it. You said in a tweet, December 24th, 2016, a surge of several million Christians from the Middle East to France would shoot down the Islamism of our neighborhoods. Did you not write that tweet, Mr. Messiha?
At that time, there was the Christian minorities who were persecuted by ISIS. Don't forget that. And we, as a country of human rights, it was our duty to welcome all the minorities that are persecuted and executed in some areas, and we have special duty for the Middle Eastern Christian since a long time. This is a legation of history. Also.
But it sounds like you're trying to have your cake and eat it. On the one hand, you're saying we're a secular country, Muslims should follow our ways, but when you want to, you're willing to say, let's give Christian immigrants preference, let's carry on supporting a Christian country and a Catholic community, but only secularism only matters when you're going after Muslims.
Because it is not... The ISIS is not are not forcing the Muslims to become sex slaves.
French Muslims are not all ISIS,
I am saying wrong.
French Muslims, millions of French Muslims have nothing to do with ISIS. You agree with that, don't you?
I'm not saying that. You are asking me about.
Well, you keep bringing up ISIS when I'm asking about secularism in France.
The Middle Eastern Christian. We are not talking about. No, you are asking me about the priority we give to the Christian minority to be welcomed in France. I am answering you that Christian minorities are persecuted.
That's not what you said, though, Jean Messiha. I know you've forgotten your tweet. You said specifically we should bring in Christians to shoot down Islamism in our neighborhoods. You're talking about religious balance. You're talking about a secular politician saying we should have more Christians to cancel out Muslims.
I did not say shoot down. You are transforming my words.
Before we finish, in a recent conversation with one of your party supporters online, you called for, quote, the mass expulsion of imams, who are extremists, you say, and said that if the state wasn't ruthless against our enemies, the Marseillaise will be put into practice. The Marseillaise is, of course, the national anthem, which calls for watering our fields with impure blood. Were you suggesting that members of the French public should take up arms against imams who they think are extremists? Are you calling for bloodshed?
No. What I was saying about that is that the state must have an authority and must apply the rule and must apply the legality. If the state is feeble, it will be replaced by violence in the streets. So it's of our duty to restore the French authorities, the French legal framework, in order to keep civil peace.
Jean Messiha, thank you for joining me on UpFront.